The final chapter on JFK, Chapter 17, Segment 8, Obstruction of Justice.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Chapter 17, Protecting American History. Our last segment for this chapter, Obstruction of Justice. That is an umbrella term that covers a variety of crimes that can be committed against our government by individuals or agencies who somehow interfere with our government process for law enforcement, judiciary, or even in administrative hearings. Obstruction of justice was done by the Warren Commission to us as Americans. And obstruction of justice is always criminal. And generally, it's a felony. Let's see what the Warren Commission did to obstruct justice in the Kennedy assassination investigation. Where did the commission actually commit obstruction of justice? Well, let's first start with Senator Russell, who stated that he told Johnson that people will say that he had something to do with it so he could be president. Russell and the rest of the commission knew that Lyndon Johnson was a prime suspect, but yet they did not investigate him at all. That is obstruction of justice. Let's go beyond that. The Warren Commission published a photograph of the sniper's den with 2 books in the sniper's den and with labeling indicating palm prints and fingerprints on those books. That photograph and that labeling was absolutely false, and the Warren Commission knew in August of 1964 that 3 police officers had stated that in the sniper's den there were 4 book boxes stacked up against the window. Not 2, but 4. But yet, instead of correcting or amending or fixing the report before its release in September, the Warren Commission chose to ignore that uncontroverted fact and to publish a photograph and the stick with the illegitimate story that there was only 2 book boxes for a sniper's den, which was used by Lee Harvey Oswald. And perhaps the most tragic item that the Warren Commission did, which was absolutely out and out obstruction of justice, relates to the fake or false Lee Harvey Oswald in Mexico City. We've gone over this before, and up on the green screen, there is a document showing that a courier had sent to Dallas from Mexico City photographs of the fake Lee Harvey Oswald. They, of course, went to the CIA, which was disclosed to the FBI and the new president, Lyndon Johnson. And of course, these items were buried for more than 35 years. But beyond that, there is a document from the CIA discussing, before release of the Warren Commission, what the CIA and the Warren Commission had agreed upon relating to the fake Lee Harvey Oswald photographs. The first paragraph states, recall that several photos of unidentified person were hand-carried to legal attaché officer in Dallas on 23rd November to assist in the investigation. Cropped photo of this man was shown by the FBI to Oswald's mother, who disclaimed any knowledge. So the problem developed with the fake Lee Harvey Oswald merely because of an accident that they showed Oswald's mother. Fortunately, because she threw such a fit about it, they had to release the photos they showed her to some degree. So what did they do? Paragraph number 3 and paragraph number 4 discuss and mention exactly what the CIA and the Warren Commission agreed upon relating to those photos. Number 3, because of this publicity, the Warren Commission will publish both photos among the documents key to its survey of FBI post-crime handling in Dallas. Exhibits will carry no caption as to origin, date and place taken, etc., nor text. So they're going to place these photos in the Warren Commission reports. They know they exist. They know the reason for it. The Warren Commission has agreed upon it, but they're not going to have any caption or text or date. And paragraph number 4 states that the closely cropped photo will appear in the non-attached volumes, either in 18, 19, or 20, and the second photograph will appear in a different non-attached volume. This shows that the Warren Commission was aware of the fake Lee Harvey Oswald and agreed and conspired with other parts of our United States government, specifically the CIA, most probably the FBI, and certainly the Commission's creator, Lyndon Johnson, to bury those photographs and not to tell the American public. That is absolute obstruction of justice. In the final executive session of the Warren Commission members, which was on September 18, 1964, that executive session involved the commission members fighting among themselves. And interestingly enough, the transcript for that session has never been found, and only some notes or a memorandum as to the entire session is the only thing existing today. But during that session, Senator Richard Russell, a very close friend of Lyndon Johnson and a person feeding Johnson information on what the Warren Commission was doing, he and 2 other senators were disputing the Warren Commission's conclusions about the single bullet theory. And all 3 of those members wanted a separate dissent. There was a claim that it was going to be put in, but it never occurred. And as a result of that, Richard Russell, who was anti-Kennedy, pro-segregation, close friend of Lyndon Johnson for over 20 years, was so mad at the new president for what he did with the Warren Commission that he ended his 20-year relationship with Johnson and rarely spoke to him after. The same occurred with Hale Boggs, the senator from Louisiana, who supported Johnson against Kennedy in the 1960 Democratic National Convention. He even stated that J. Edgar Hoover lied his eyes out, and that, in his opinion, what had happened there is leading America closer to complete government control, such as what occurred in the book 1984. Sherman Cooper, the senator from North Carolina, was so mad at what the Warren Commission did that on the side he met with Robert F. Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, and Jackie Kennedy, and he told all 3 of them that in his opinion, John F. Kennedy's death was a result of a conspiracy. Perhaps this is best summarized by one of the Warren Commission staffers who, in response to talking about some of the improper activities that the Warren Commission did, said, well, sometimes we are caught up in things that are bigger than we are, meaning that we have this national issue, criminal conspiracy, killing of a president, but it could have international and world implications, and as a result, things are covered up, things are hidden, things are obstructed for some benefit. But of course, the question comes down to who benefited, and that was only one person. And I'm not even going to say the name, but I'll give you the initials, LBJ. See you in the next chapter.